So I don't want to too much, talking about my company, but basically the story is that I came from commercial real estate for many years and would underwrite projects, originate projects, and go, oh my God, this is such an old building. This is so much we could do this building. I'm originally an architect. I'd be like, why are we not doing something? Why can't we underwrite this energy efficiency that can be done? Why can't we look at what in the future could be done and not just look at 3 years of historical data and be done with it? And so everyone said, no, you can't do it that way. You can't do it that way. You can't do it that way. Still pretty hard to do it, but I would say that vehicles like PACE and PPAs and solar leases really allow you to take advantage as commercial building owners in these savings, because it's something that really does impact, in the end of the day, the cash flow of the property. So coming from that space and originally being an architect, I was kind of tired, frankly, of underwriting, like takes like virgin land in Georgia and slap a Walmart. I'm like, I cannot underwrite this building and feel really comfortable about what I'm helping or not helping with the environment. So I got into energy efficiency, help building owners, find projects, develop them, use incentives, work a lot in multifamily, affordable housing sector, and then came across PACE almost 5 years ago. I was in the West Coast. It was starting to come out and be, visible. And been in that space the last 5 years. Really think it's a great product because basically it offers a solution to do both solar and energy efficiency and water efficiency all in one package, wrapped with a bow, as they say, some of my friends in the energy service industry. So I know that I have like 3 or 4 minutes to talk about PACE. So usually I do this in like an hour. So let's see if I can triple my speed of speaking, if I can manage to get through it all. But basically PACE stands for Property Assessed Clean Energy, and it was a way to finance energy efficiency, renewable energy, and water efficiency projects by placing a special assessment on your tax bill. It's both residential and commercial. Rich and I are only talking about commercial because in Virginia, residential is not allowed, although we hope it will be in the future. In DC, they have the ability to do residential, but they currently only do residential, they only do commercial. And in Maryland, you can only do commercial too, right, Gerard? Where are you? Yeah. And I just want to point out a few of my friends in the audience. We have Greenworks and PFS there, and also Clean Fund. Anyone else? Alex has worked a lot in the space. Come on, Rachel. Who else? Sorry. Is that it? You guys just hit each other, didn't you? Yeah. Anyway, they work a lot in the market, have done a lot of great deals, and we see this market is really evolving here in the Mid-Atlantic as being the next big area of PACE in the country. So here's the growth rate. I just updated from PACE Nation. So literally in the last 2 months, it's gone up like 40 million. So the growth has been maybe 300% over the last, 15 to 20 months. And that's because, it takes, basically the way it works is you have to get a locality to agree to pass an ordinance to allow you to place a special assessment on your own building to finance energy efficiency or renewable energy projects. And this takes time. But now that we have a lot of localities and a lot of states, over, I think it's 32 or 33 in the country, and we have, I think, is it 20 active programs or active programs within the states or something like that, we basically are starting to see a really big growth in the project market, and we're seeing, as a result, also jobs created. So contractors, energy engineers, this is something that, it's not the main beneficiary is the building owner, but he does help create a lot of jobs. And in some places like Virginia and Colorado, you can do new construction, and that's something we think is going to be really, really valuable in our state. Here's the boxes, again, not as pretty as the ones from before, as Cullen has, but I know it's right. He has to have some, it's more specific. So we have 3 main parties in a PACE transaction. We have the property owner and their representative, and they will perhaps know they want to upgrade their building, or their energy service company or their engineer will say, hey, we really need to take care of this roof and this HVAC system. It's 25 years old. We got to replace it. And they go, well, I don't want to pay anything up front. I don't have the cash right now. And then Rich Julie comes in and says, no worries. We can finance this project with no upfront capital for a long period of time, which means that your payments are going to be less than the savings you will accrue annually. So Rich Julie and Arlington County, who have just enacted their PACE ordinance. Their program is now launched. They will take in the project, assess if it meets the parameters of the program, and then separately, the property owner will engage and find a capital provider, a lender, who will give them the money to do these upgrades. And the property owner will pay back the lender, usually via the county, or in the case of Arlington, directly, which Rich will explain later. So it's basically, you know, a system in which the county or the locality acts as a pass-through. At the end of the day, the lender, like Clean Fund or Greenworks, will receive the payments on usually a semi-annual basis. And I know I'm saying a lot in a little bit of time. I'm happy to explain more later or send more slides. We just are going to be having a discussion versus a long description of PACE. So this is just a really simple example of how the two models work. This is not, off balance sheet kind of comparison. It's with a traditional bank financing. So a lot of companies or businesses that want to use PACE may not want to put additional debt on their balance sheet. They may, want to be able to spread it out longer than, say, their banker will allow. And so even though the cost of the interest rate is higher, oftentimes for PACE, because you are paying it back over a long period of time, at the end of the day, your NPV, or net present value, is actually higher. So again, happy to send more depth if anyone's interested. Here's a laundry list of the benefits. There are benefits to localities and contractors, but again, number one would be the building owners. Number one, and the thing that we all see as being the most advantageous when you talk to building owners, is the fact there's nothing up front. So similar to PPAs, you're not paying anything up front. You're paying back over in a structure that allows you to pay it back annually over, 15, 20, 25 years. The financing is fixed, which is great. You can do adjustable rates, but typically PACE is fixed. There's security in that. You know what your cash flow is going to be. You know what your payments are going to be. Long-term financing, that's something that's not available in most for most projects of this type of energy efficiency projects. And there's a lot of lists there, but I would say that something we're finding that's also important that I think was mentioned earlier is it's non-recourse. So at the end of the day, you're not going to be personally liable in giving back your personal assets if something happens. Because at the end of the day, the property itself is what gives you that security interest. So if you can't pay your PACE financing, the PACE lender will get your property if it's not paid back through, say, the existing mortgage holder or others. So it's a way to give a lot of security to the PACE lender, but also makes you as a property owner gain from not having to worry about that personal asset issue. Really quickly, Rich will talk about their ordinance. It's kind of parallel. In Virginia, we have our own model ordinance, which was developed through the Virginia Energy Efficiency Council. And basically, this kind of lays out the basic terms of the ordinance. The idea is to make localities in our state be able to adopt something similar in such a way that it breeds consistency and allows lenders and property owners with properties in multiple jurisdictions to not go county by county and go, okay, what is your requirement? How is it different? How do I have to, adjust my, underwriting to this specific area? And similarly, we have program guidelines, which all of us are involved in as part of the Mid-Atlantic PACE Alliance, which is a DOE grant that was provided to Virginia, Maryland, and DC to help breed consistency among the markets. So again, PACE is very different, not only within the state, but within a locality or where a program administrator is. And so we're trying to create a process that is actually going to be consistent. And actually, we just looked at Arlington's user guide, and we're going to be incorporating that in our program guidelines to try to continue the consistency. So I think that's my last slide, and I'm going to go to Arlington and Rich.